Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to EGFC Season 4. It's week 1, and we're here for our second game of the evening, which will be Georgetown versus St. John's. It is going to be Georgetown playing as Man City, and it will be St. John's playing as Liverpool. This game is on next gen, so might look a little bit different, might look a little bit cleaner, and maybe we'll get some more goals. Who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Neither side has gone with the classic sort of PSG or Real Madrid. We're seeing two very strong sides. Nevertheless, I'll be interested to see how Haaland performs as well in this. Outside of Ultimate Team, will be interesting to see.
Yeah, and Luis Diaz as well, a player that you've said is a little bit struggling for pace in the game. Feels a little bit slower just due to the new run types, lengthy and controlled, right?
Yeah, and explosive for the
And
smaller
explosive.
players. Now,
Yes.
there's a big thing going around on social media at the moment saying how lengthy is kind of the meta. So, be interesting to see any of these lengthy runners how they get on.
Haaland, one
We
of
will
those,
see.
I think as well, right?
I think Haaland's actually controlled, but it's sticking an architect chemistry card
Oh,
on Ultimate Team. And there's a ball given away and maybe panicked and rushed into a shot there,
yeah,
whereas the pass across goal looked on. But early doors, Georgetown looking pretty good.
yeah. Georgetown getting a couple of chances, but I don't think you should sleep on St John's as they are a big team. They have been in EGF since I first started, which was in season 2. They've been a part of the FIFA EGFC. So we'll have to see how they get on today. But for Georgetown, this is their first time in the FIFA tournament. So we'll have to see how they get on. They're definitely looking strong from the start here, though.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of time and a long way to go. Best of two, so you don't want to rush necessarily. I mean, nice to get an early goal, of course, but you've got to make sure you keep yourself in the game as well. You don't want to be rushing too far forward, throwing bodies forward, and then getting caught on the counter attack. But we will see. A game that will be very interesting this year as well in the Premier League: Man City versus Liverpool.
Oh, I don't know about that one. We've had a terrible start to the season, but it's still redeemable. I think I'd be happy with top 4 at this point. I think the league is out of reach, and I think it would be disrespectful towards Man City to even suggest that we're still in a chance to secure the title because 5 draws or however many 4, 5. It's too many, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, since Man City have signed Erling Haaland as well, he has just taken them to an unbelievable level now. I think Man City are pretty much going to run away with the Premier League this year.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. It's what they've done is they've got an incredible team and they've brought one of the best individual strikers in the world. You put a ball in front of him and he puts it in the back of the net. It's as simple as that with Haaland. But for Liverpool, we lost one of the best players in the world in Sadio Mane and replaced him with Darwin Núñez, who sure in a few years' time could light up the Premier League, but he is young, and that's the point. That's the thing. He's a fairly unknown young player for the most part of last season. But Haaland's still young as well, and almost got a goal there. Georgetown almost, sorry, I think it was St John's there. No, sorry, it was Georgetown almost getting a chance, but. Here comes St. John. Let's see what they can do. It's Mohamed Salah passing the ball. I think Fabinho came back from the offside position. He did.
Yeah, finding himself in an odd position there for Fabinho as well, way up the pitch. But it's interesting to see the build up at the moment. Yeah, Georgetown there with a really slick through ball straight down the middle, and Hallam was through. We might see Salah there, plays through
Oh,
Núñez. He shrugged off the defender and he got the finish, bottom corner. Unlikely scorer, maybe. You might put your money on Mo Salah being the first scorer usually, but no, a great finish there from Darwin Núñez.
and you're going to see the new hypermotion too. No, we're not. We are not going to see the replay. Yeah, it's one of the new things, but everybody skips the replays. Nobody really watches their opponent's replays. You just skip them. But yeah, Darwin Núñez very good on this FIFA. In my opinion, he's very good on the ball. Very quick. And really good at finishing as well for me. Oh no! Allison's kicked it straight at Bernardo Silva and it has gone straight into the back of the net. It's a school ground error. It is a terrible, terrible situation to be in. But it will be 1-1 now. Georgetown getting their equaliser.
I was going to say it was really well defended actually as Bernardo Silva tried to get through. I can't say, it might have been Joel Matip, I think, made the block and shielded him off. And then, yeah, Allison going for the clearance. And actually, it could have hit either Haaland or Bernardo Silva. And it's almost like a free goal, really, to get Georgetown right back in the game.
I've heard a lot of good things about Bernardo Silva on this FIFA, to be fair. I've heard that he's one of the best cams in the Premier League, and the ball's played through for Haaland, who is strong, who is apparently not strong enough to hold off Joel Matip, who makes a fantastic tackle.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get through there. You know, it looked like he was just going to get the shot away, but Joel Matip does just enough to put him off. Joel Matip being the hero twice in the space of 2 minutes there.
Indeed, yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, through that wicked deflection, Georgetown regained, well, they got themselves a goal, and St John's back at level peg. And once again, if you are a St John's fan, you're going to be a little bit disappointed, maybe feel a little bit hard done by with that goal, but it does happen sometimes, unfortunately. You know, a little bit of a panic from St John's, and you know, the ball getting smashed into Bernardo Silva's head.
Yeah, a bit of a lucky goal for Georgetown, but they won't mind how they come. So we'll see who's going to try and sort of retake the lead here. We're back to square one goal apiece. Like you said before in the first matchup, no away goals. So we're kind of basically back where we started right now.
We are indeed. So we're going to have to see who will pick up the lead. Could be for the first time of the game Georgetown, but no, it's a great save from Allison. Kevin De Bruyne looking for that finesse shot. And are we going to see the same type of free kick, corner kick again? We are. The chip to the near post. Good save from Allison, and they're looking for Haaland. You can see that.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a player like Haaland, you know, you can get the ball into his feet because he's got the strength, he's got some good speed once he gets going, he's got the finishing, he's got the aerial ability. He's just like a complete all-round player that you would love to have.
Yeah, he really is, and Darwin Núñez is going to be knocked off the ball by Ruben Diaz, and that'll be the half-time whistle being blown, and we'll go in. I feel like it has been fairly even. I think both teams have had a decent amount of the ball, and as you can see there, it's been fairly even on the possession stats, but Georgetown definitely looking more threatening on the goal end than St John's, having a couple more chances. And we'll have to see. It's only a matter of time before Haaland gets his goal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's one of those, isn't he, where Haaland, if he gets the ball at all in and around the box, you get a shot away or even a header away, you've got a very good chance of scoring. He's, again, I know we keep resorting back to Ultimate Team a little bit, but he was currently extinct on the market, his gold card, at about 350,000 coins. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, a card that everybody wants. He's out of packs because he's a one to watch, obviously. And even his one to watch card has spiked up in price like a crazy amount after his hat trick plus 2 assists. He's a card that everybody wants this year.
Yeah, 99 before Christmas. That's the meme that's going around at the moment. We'll have
Yeah, well,
to
I mean,
see.
you never know. It is possible, but Norway not at the World Cup, so he's not going to get a boost from that. But yeah, he's going to get a lot of informs.
De Bruyne, nice little turn into the rainbow flick, heads it down to Foden, but good tackle from Joel Matip once again to really be the hero of this Liverpool defence so far. Thiago looking to burst through, break through that Man City defence. Referee thinks there was a little bit of foul play. And as you can see there, the player, it's obvious that he was getting into the position for the quick free kick, but the player doesn't pass it to him. He passed it elsewhere. So I've got a feeling it's going to be bugged. I can't see them removing a feature like that from the game.
Yeah, I mean, it would make absolutely no sense for it to be removed. So hopefully it'll be something that gets fixed pretty soon because it does keep the game flowing. You know, you don't have to worry about the ball rolling all the way to a sort of like a stopping motion. And then you get that free kick where it puts everybody back in position. If you win a free kick in the middle of the pitch, you want to kind of get going as soon as you can. Really, you don't want to have to worry about everybody else being behind the ball again. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that one sorted out soon.
Well, it's tactical fouls as well, isn't it? There are a lot of, you can, if the ball's in the middle of the field, and you don't have many defenders back, you go for the tactical foul, you get the quick free kick off, continue the break. But if quick free kicks aren't a thing, then it becomes quite difficult. De Bruyne with the outside of the foot, I'm not too sure whether that was outside of the foot or whether it was just straight power, but rifles it into the crowd. Unfortunately, not going to be hitting the back of the net. Any Georgetown supporters in the Twitch chat cheering them on. We'll have to see what they can do. Ball played through for Darwin Núñez, but Ruben Diaz with a good tackle to get the ball away from him.
Yeah, and although we've seen a goal for either side, actually both defences have been pretty strong so far, making some good blocks. some good interceptions, and just sort of having the centre backs just shut down the strikers at the moment. But we might see a chance here for Georgetown. They're definitely getting numbers forward and getting the left and right back pushed forward as well. So plenty of players forward for Man City, but Liverpool now, can they build a counter attack?
Yeah, St John's looking to build that counter attack, like you say. De Bruyne though gonna get the ball back, bring possession the way of Georgetown. Foden, can he put the ball in the middle? Haaland is there, whips it in onto the head of Haaland, and that is exactly what you expect. Just like Thanos, he is inevitable. He will get a goal no matter what. He is, well, he's just an absolute beast, isn't he? Let's be honest.
He is, and it was a really good outside of the boot cross as well from Phil Foden. So, you can use that left trigger or L2 to manipulate and modify that cross. Sometimes you might get the Rabona cross, and sometimes you'll get the outside of the boot cross. And they're really, really strong this year. Really good. It's a new feature that's added, and like most games and most FIFAs, when a new feature gets added, it's usually pretty OP to start with. Probably get balanced at some point. But crossing is doing very well, especially with a target man like Haaland.
What a beautiful pass from Jack Grealish, opening that defence and just giving it straight on a plate to the Norwegian man. It is going to be 3-1. George Washington definitely deserving this lead here.
Yeah, didn't even need to take a touch there. Just, the ball was so perfect. Just tucks it in under the goalkeeper. Yeah, 3-1. Georgetown looking really good here. We might see a 2-goal advantage going into the second leg for the second matchup of the season.
Darwin Núñez looks to chip the ball into the box for Fabinho as he was running through, but there's still plenty of time on this clock, and Georgetown can smell blood. Virgil van Dijk getting hounded by Haaland. Lovely pass through to Bernardo Silva. It's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and you betcha he puts it in the back of the net. He makes it a 3-goal advantage, and Georgetown are running riot.
Yeah, Georgetown are looking very, very strong right now, and it's not even Haaland this time. I think he turned the provider this time round, and yeah, Bernardo Silva just enough space and just enough of a head start to get through. As I think it was Van Dijk was chasing him down, but couldn't do enough. Bernardo Silva tucking that one in, and it is 4-1. You've got to say, Georgetown looking very strong so far.
Yeah, they really are, and we're going to have to see. There might be more goals to come. Foden gives it to De Bruyne, takes a shot on Alisson. Gets down to his right and makes a save this time as another corner can come in from Georgetown looking to pick out Haaland.
Yeah, they've had a lot of corners as well. Haven't really made any of them count so far from memory, but we're going to see he's going to chip it in near post. Haaland is there. I think maybe the chip, not quite what you're looking for. Maybe you should be whipping it in a little bit more. As Alisson's done pretty well on most of these corners so far, and a long ball downfield towards Núñez doesn't amount to anything.
I found a lot of pleasure from the outside of the foot cross to the near post. That has worked fairly well for me, and especially having Haaland on your team. I've not seen the chip being used by many players, so I'm not too sure whether that's something that they're just using themselves, that they've personally had it work in the past. But we'll have to see if it can come off. Obviously, we've still got the whole second leg to come yet, so we'll have to see if they can make that work at some point.
Yeah, I think the chipped corner, it's an odd one. It might not be the best tactic to use. However, when you've got, the 6'5" Norwegian machine, Erling Haaland, that's someone that you can afford to chip it to. If you've got a tall striker who's good at jumping, good at heading, play to your strengths.
Oh, and there it is. That's another absolutely beautifully well-worked goal. It's Kevin De Bruyne smashing it into the back of the net this time for Manchester City and for Georgetown, who the first game in their EGFC FIFA Season 4 careers, they're looking pretty damn good. Coming up against one of the veterans of the FIFA scene in EGF in St John's, and they're really not holding any punches here, are they? They're absolutely dominating St John's.
Yeah, I mean, considering it was 1-1 at half-time, they've come out in the second half and absolutely gone for it. And you've got to say, Georgetown are actually playing a very attacking formation as well. I think it is it might be a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. But the wing-backs are getting involved as well. Walker and Cancelo are both high up the pitch. They're committing players forward, and it's definitely paying off with 5 goals in this game so far. And Risky play out from the back again. We've already seen St John's concede one goal from that, and they just about get away with it this time.
It's hard for St John's. They're looking to find ways out of the back and just, passing the ball through the midfield. But every time they play the ball, it's just always a Georgetown player on the end of it. The press is unreal. The press is, well, it's hard, it's fast, and it's scary, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and well, there you go. It is finishing 5 goals to 1. Pep really giving it some there as well. He's enjoyed that one. He's happy with the team. And I mean, for Georgetown, that game couldn't really have gone much better unless they kept a clean sheet. But, they're going to go into the second leg with a 4-goal cushion.
They are indeed, and well, that is what can you really say about that? Georgetown looked fantastic from the off. They looked fantastic from the start of the game, and we were saying, they've looked good, but they've only got a couple of goals. St John's took the lead. It's one of them things of you've just got to be persistent with it, and the goals came in the end. Haaland got his goals, and Kevin De Bruyne got a few. It was a good game for Georgetown, and St John's in the second leg, maybe they can come back. Maybe they can make some sort of statement, or at least get a couple back for the goals difference. But we are going to have to go to a quick break, so we will be right back. But when we do arrive back in the studio, we'll be here for Georgetown versus St John's, the second leg. It'll be back in a few moments' time. We'll catch you in a sec. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to EGFC Season 4. We are here for the second leg, where we do have the commentary on. Oh, dearie me. It's an absolute nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. We are into the second game, which is going to be between Georgetown and St. John's. We're here for the second leg. Georgetown currently leading 5-1. We're going to have to see how they get on, or whether St. John's can make a miraculous comeback. Legal Eagle is going to be the player for Georgetown, and St. John's is going to be playing as Bayern Munich. So the scoreboard is the wrong way around. We'll just get that changed over. But I am joined by Matt. Hey ho, Matt. How has it been so far? How are you finding EGF?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, there's been plenty of goals, which has been nice. It's always easier to commentate and cast over a game when there's a lot of action. I know we've seen some quiet first halves, but the second halves have really come to light in most of the games. So, 5-1 in the first leg as well. So there's plenty of goals to shout about, and we may well see some more here. Like you said, St. John's have kind of got it all to do. They need an early goal or two here, and they are kicking off as Bayern Munich. So it'll be interesting to see. Can they get any goals back?
But we have two different players playing right now. We have Legal Eagle for Georgetown, and we do have Blue Champs for St. John's. Blue Champs played last season in EGF and was one of their main players. So we'll have to see how this matchup favours either one of the teams, because obviously completely different matchup, completely different teams. We'll see. Chance early on is going to be finding the back of the net. It is going to be Thomas Muller hitting it, and it will be 1-0 to Bayern Munich. That means it is 1-0 to St. John's.
Yeah, now 5-2 on aggregate. They've pulled one back, and it's a pretty early goal as well. So there's plenty of time for some goals.
It's not. It's not 1-0 to St. John. It's 1-0 to Georgetown. Oh,
Georgetown. You've got it all over the place. Well, there you go. Georgetown increasing their lead then to 6-1 on aggregate. Georgetown looking very good then.
Yes, obviously my apologies. I'm from. My name is George, so Georgetown is the land of my people. What can I say? I've made an absolute mistake, and Georgetown, increasing their lead even further is great for them. And there's another chance. Going to be great save in the end by the goalkeeper. Donnarumma, I would assume, as always for Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, you can go for Keylor Navas, but he's a bit short, isn't he?
Yeah, especially Donnarumma is so good. He's like 6'5". Donnarumma covers a lot of the goal anyway, just with his pure height, and he's probably one of the best goalkeepers in the game. Last year, obviously getting in the team of the year as well, so had some great cards, team of the year and team of the season. Was a fantastic goalkeeper last year as well.
Pretty much the best goalkeeper in the game for the whole year, from team of the year onwards. I mean, I used him for a long time. I know a lot of people use him towards the end of the game because he was in the pre-season batches or whatever they were called. So everyone was packing him. But yeah, I think this year goalkeepers are. I don't know. I don't know who I like. I have Magnan and I have not Casemiro. Sorry, Edison. And I think I prefer Edison. I'm not a huge fan of Magnan.
Yeah, I was using Big Mike in goal
Big
as well.
Mike.
He was good. I mean, because I was linking him to Tamori and Theo Hernandez, so with the new chemistry system in Ultimate Team. But yeah, it's a tough one with goalkeepers because you don't really have much control over them. But we might see a chance for St. John's, but it's just squashed out there by Georgetown. And yeah, goalkeepers are pretty much just AI reliant, so difficult to say who would be the best keeper. But that chance there just offside.
Will be judged by the linesman. I didn't know if it was offside or not, to be fair. I didn't see. That's why I said chance. I wasn't sure. But obviously the linesmen, they get paid plenty of money. Well, these ones don't because they're computers. They don't get paid anything. But in real life they do. Blue Champs coming forward, going to chip the ball through to Mbappe and can't find him this time. It's a nice finesse to the back post, but goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, I think every year he's pretty much the best starter rare goalkeeper you can get. He's always pretty damn good.
Yeah, again, he's a nice height as well, and I talk about height quite a lot with goalkeepers because some people find, especially myself, I don't particularly get on with goalkeepers that are any less than 6'3". I find that the taller goalkeepers perform better because they just fill more of the goal, and there's a good cross, and Neuer reaches it, the header back in, and Neuer's already up and waiting for the second attempt there as well.
Yeah, I think I saw a few TikToks of people using Campos, the Mexican hero, and he's really, really short, and people were just chipping the ball over him from. I can't remember who it was.
Campos.
Off the top of my head, yeah, I can remember the goalkeeper. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Denman that was doing it. He was just chipping the goalkeeper, and I think he got about 4 chips over the goalkeeper because he's so short. If you just put it over him, and he can't, he never jumps for the ball. It's hilarious to watch.
Yeah, I find the same with goalkeepers like Casillas and Lloris as well. They're both sort of closer to 6 foot than they are anything else. So it's, yeah, I do think that having a tall goalkeeper often helps. That's why Courtois is pretty good as well because he's about 6'6", and I think Nick Pope might be the tallest at 6'7", I believe.
But is he 6'7"?
There's a big myth that he's actually only about 6'3" in real life, but on FIFA he's
Conspiracy.
6'7". So
I tell you what, Nick Pope. I need to meet him and I need to stand next to him. If he's the same height as me, 6'3". If he's obviously a lot taller, then the myth has been busted.
there you go. Well, we'll send you up to Newcastle, shall we, for that then?
That's not too far away. I could go for a weekend. Who knows? If somebody wants to sort it out in the UK, but not that many people here could sort it out because we aren't in America. Is there a Newcastle in America? I'd go there as well. But either way, it's going to be the half-time whistle being blown. Georgetown currently 1-0 against St. John's, so which that means I think it's 6-1 on aggregate now.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like the tie is over, isn't it? Really, it's pretty tough for St John's, but they're still in this second game. It'll be nice to see if they can either pull it back to a draw, maybe even win the second half would be good. But yeah, Georgetown looking pretty useful so far in their first showing of the season.
Yeah, definitely. King Karatify says in chat, Gold Lloris was my best keeper all of last year. And yeah, I think he was definitely one of my highest used goalkeepers last year, definitely. And Mike Magnan, or I think it's pronounced in French, Magnon, I think it's pronounced.
I just call him Mike Magnan.
Mike Magnan.
Or yeah. Magic Mike.
Magic. Oh dearie me. But Big Mike, it's also a good one. You've got plenty of nicknames for him. Either way, it's still 1-0 to Georgetown as we get kicked off in the second half here. Second half of the second leg. And I think that St. John's have had a few chances, but they're just struggling to break down the defence. Twisted and turning on the spot, and the passes end up getting intercepted, stuff like that. That's the thing about next gen. It's just so slow, and it's so difficult to break down defences. It's annoying. And then you just get counter-attacked.
I think it's definitely worth looking into the lengthy run type players. They seem to be the meta currently. But yeah, difficult to say again. Bayern Munich have got a very strong team. They've got De Ligt, they've got Hernandez, they've got Alphonso Davies. The weak link is probably Mazraoui at right back. He's only got about 82 pace. And the low cross there, just getting intercepted by the first man. Maybe a slightly more floated cross would have been the better option there. But we'll see Bayern Munich back on the counter-attack again for Georgetown.
Yeah, the low cross trying to drill it across the box wasn't really going to work. The defender comes across, cuts it out. Like say, go for the floater, just go for the standard X maybe. But either way, Mane strong on the ball. Kimpembe cuts it out, tackles Kimpembe, Kimmich, and Neymar brings it away, gives it to Mbappe, back to Neymar to Mbappe, and Kimmich doing that job, getting that ball away from the midfield, regaining it, and I think Kimmich is probably one of the best CDMs. I don't know about this year, but over the last few FIFAs, he has definitely been one of my favourite base gold cards. I've always had him at the start of the year, and this year I decided not to go for Kimmich, and I actually got Goretzka instead.
Yeah, Goretzka, one of those cards that's a very solid player. I think Kimmich quite often gets overlooked in teams. He's actually one of the highest rated midfielders in the game, and
it's the pace, isn't it? The pace that puts people off usually.
Yeah, and Goretzka actually, I think, got a downgrade this year on his pace because he's no longer in the so-called Hullet gang with these 80+ everything stats on the face card. We're going to see Carlos Soler bringing the ball down the wing. He hasn't really got anywhere to go. Does actually manage to find Mbappe. And there we go. There is a goal back for St. John's.
There's a goal back for St. John's. It might just be a consolation prize unless we have one of the most ridiculous last 30 minutes ever in history of football. But either way, it's a positive situation for St. John's. You can start to, game on game, you'll start to improve, you'll start to get these opportunities, and you'll start to learn where you can play the ball and what's going for you more often than not. It's all about working out the percentages. What's the chance of this pass actually working? And in this game, a lot of passes get intercepted, so you do need to be careful.
Yeah, I think like we've said in the past, I think especially today in the earlier game, that the passing stat I think is very vital this year. I know that again that might sound silly, but I think in previous years you could get away with passing because it seemed a bit more assisted. But this year it just seems, if you've got players with low passing, they do give up possession a bit more frequently, and the players with high defensive awareness and high interceptions are more likely to make those interceptions. And so I think stats are much more important this year than any previous FIFA installment. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. And as you can see here, Georgetown now looking to build up and get themselves another goal back. But the defending has been fairly solid from St John's this game. It has been a lot better. Obviously, the players do change. There is two different players, two different players in each leg. Both teams have two different representatives. Some have more. Some rotate the teams. Some rotate the players and try and get everybody a game. But most teams just have the two players. And as you can see in this one, the matchup is a little bit more even. Blue Champs definitely getting a couple of opportunities, and you could say the same for Georgetown as they look to come forward. It's going to be Davies, gives it on the wing to Coman, the 5-star skiller. I think that might be offside, whips it into the middle. Davies with the header, comes it off the post. It's not offside, and that'll be a lovely, well-worked goal from Georgetown, regaining the lead in the second leg.
What on earth was Alphonso Davies doing in that position?
Oh, no
He's
clue.
gone absolutely strolling up the field. Beautiful header though, really good cross as well. Gives Georgetown the lead once again in the second leg. It is now 7-2 on aggregate, but the second half's been a lot tighter, like you were just saying.
And the ball does drop, but it doesn't quite drop too well. Soler couldn't quite get onto the ball. It would have been a nice opportunity for him. Coman looks to go around Hakimi, but can't do that. Plenty of pace on Hakimi, defensive awareness. Coman now coming down this left side. Messi looking to try and upset him. That is one thing we haven't seen too much of. We haven't seen too many skills being brought out by the players today, and maybe that's something we'll see more going on as we get later on in the season, as obviously players try to get a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's one of those things that it takes time to learn. And we see Mane with the power shot there. And the one negative to actually, I think there's two negatives to the power shot. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds for the shot to charge up and be struck. And it's very, very manual when you control it. So you have to be aiming at the goal very accurately. We might see a chance here with the ball bouncing down, but it does sail over eventually from Renato Sanchez. And yeah, going back to those skill moves, I think once people kind of start to learn the game, we'll probably start seeing a lot more sort of like tactics and skill tutorials appear across social media. What kind of the social media meta is going to be created. A lot of people at the moment saying the 5-1-2-2 is very solid. Please don't play with 5 at the back. It's just a sad experience for everybody.
I definitely do not play 5. That is not me. I do just want to say, as to what you said, as we do reach the end of the game, Georgetown going to be picking up the win 2-1, and what can you really say? It's been a very, very hard game for St John's. The first game coming into the second game, they lost 5-1 in the first one. To only lose 2-1 in the second one, I think you've got to give them a pat on the back and say, look, it's a hard game. You got to move on to the next one. There's a long, long schedule of games to come. Don't put your head down too much. Keep it held high because there's a long way to go.
Yeah, like you said, it's 17 games for the season, so we're only one in. You never know where these teams are going to be at the end. Georgetown may well be a team that tops the table. So far, they've probably been the strongest team that we've seen. Obviously, we haven't seen every team, we haven't seen every single player, so things will change. Players' availability. It's not necessarily the same player week in, week out. So we will see. But Georgetown have given themselves a great start to the season. They'll probably be top of the table now on aggregate. But yeah, I think it was kind of over in the first leg, really, with a strong 5-1 performance.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree. And it's just one of those ones. What can you do? When you go 5 goals down in the first game, it's one of those ones where you just got to hold your hands up and be like, look, we'll have to get them next time. Just take whatever you can away from the game and try and improve ready for next week. But we do have more games coming up next week. We do not tonight, though. unfortunately. That was the last game of the evening. But next week we do have Marquette versus William and Mary. Marquette making their return. I think they're the highest placed team from last season remaining in the tournament. Obviously, we've yet to really talk about it. We've lost at Fairfield, we've lost Iona, we've lost Manhattan. So our reigning champions, unfortunately, were part of the MAAC. Which aren't in the tournament anymore, basically. But we have Marquette, William and Mary, we have DePaul versus St. John's, we have George Washington versus Georgetown, which will not at all be a confusing game at all. But that is all for this evening. My name has been George Overton, joined by Matt Hayho. Thank you for having you, Matt. And any final words for you?
No, I mean, it's been a really good start to it. Obviously, there was one team not showing up, etc., etc. A few teething problems, but we'll get there. We'll get there, and it'll be a great season, a long season ahead as well. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out.
We will indeed. But thank you very much for watching. Thanks to everybody in the chat. I do appreciate it. All the players that did come along and did compete. As always, we will catch you guys in the next one. Have a lovely rest of your days, and we'll see you all soon.